For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Hello, boys and ghouls, and welcome to the Halloween Spooktacular. Every corny-ass podcast calls their Halloween a spooktacular. There's
gonna be another word for boys, like...
It's just always boys and ghouls.
Booze and ghouls?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Booze and ghouls, yeah, that sounds good. Wait, what do we do it? Hello, booze and ghouls, welcome to the Halloween Creepathon.
Rewind.
That's right. We are rolling with a very underrated gem here of the horror genre. Very underrated. From the early 90s. Back when...
Dang, it was from the 90s?
Yeah,
wow.
very very early 90s. But yeah, we're rolling with body parts, man. Ooh, so insanely spooky.
You know, this is like the scariest, creepiest intro music of any movie you've ever shown me.
Yeah, what are we talking about, like over the opening credits and all that? Yeah.
It like creeped me out, like it came like almost to give me chills. Like it was like, and because we were in such dark and like it was so quiet and all you could hear was that, it was like the creepiest. I
really miss when opening credits were allowed just to be basic opening credits like that, because like, I mean, there's a few times we would be like late walking in during the credits, but just in general, it's kind of like the old movies, how like before any credits began, they played the overture, like the lights went down, there was like a minute or two overture of music. Like that's kind of what especially for horror movies, that's what like the opening credits were like. We're going to go ahead and get it rolling. I'm rolling off the Scream Factory Blu-ray release, but you guys might have an old school Paramount DVD. I have it paused on the opening Paramount logo. Let it play till it says Paramount Communications Company. That's on 14 seconds in on the blue. You guys might have a stream. I'm sure this is probably the number one streaming movie on Tubi or some bullshit right now. But or maybe you have the old DVD. But either way, yeah, just where it's got the mountain, the stars, says Paramount Communications Company. Which I was telling Boo just a second ago. Like I remember all the old Paramount movies from the 80s saying Paramount Gulf Western Company. Then later on, it was a Viacom company. Like I never really heard it referred to as Paramount Communications at any point. So. Interesting. All right, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. When I say go, please hit play on your remotes and let's get this rolling. All right, it is rolling. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, go. It's rolling.
Jeez, you didn't even give
I didn't even do
chance.
it. No, I just was like, it's rolling. Yeah. And also, too, like, I know I've talked about this on the past, on other episodes. Might as well put this remote down. There's no pausing or rewinding at this point. By the way, if you hear some banging and moaning in the background, that's just our haunted washing machine upstairs.
You can hear it.
You can hear it in the stairwell. I don't think you can really hear it in here. But I just wanted to make that joke. That's my favorite Goosebumps book, too. The Haunted Washing Machine. That was the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard that one.
But yeah, this is Eric Red film. If people don't know who Eric Red is, I'm actually Facebook friends with him, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure he probably has like 8,000 Facebook friends, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, he was a writer, and he wrote The Hitcher, I believe. And then, like, yeah, because of that, like, he wrote some more movies, and then eventually he got into directing and directed 2 or 3 horror movies. He's still active, still doing stuff. I think he writes a lot of books now. But yeah, talk about the opening credits and like really what they are here.
It's just like schematics of a body, but like it's like with the music, it's like so creepy looking. It's such like creepy visuals, and then like the further along the credits get, like the more morbid the pictures get. But it's basically like a
textbook.
Yeah, what you would call it, physiology or anatomy, I guess, kind of. Pictures of the body that you would see in a textbook or something. They're all labeled with letters, and
it's like kind of like that Hellraiser shit too, where it's basically their textbook drawings of like bodies without skin, where it's like they're all sinewy and you see all the muscle and shit, and
all that.
Yeah, it's all red. But I don't think I finished what I was going to say. But like, I know I talked about this in the past, but like, what I like about this is like I missed when like every single movie that a major studio put out, like they came out with somehow like their own font or their own title design, and then like the title when you ever see it in advertising or the beginning of the movie, it was always like a certain color or a certain way, and like this kind of has like these old, I don't know what the font is, but they're kind of like jiggly, like they're like off center.
They don't go straight across.
Yeah.
Like some letters are higher and some are lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like this, and I don't know if it's also because it's like red in color or what,
I think
but
that,
like, like when we were watching this, sitting here, like when it was starting, we were just sitting here quiet. I was just like, oh my god, this is like creeping me out.
And I gotta say, I mean, there maybe like within like super horror community fans, whatever, like maybe there's like a big following for this movie, but like I just remember going to see, and I mean, like I would fucking beg my dad to take me to see any grisly horror movie. It was like nothing, not a special occasion by any means, but like even with all the ones like I would go to see and shit, like I remember this one just standing out to me because there's just something about it. It just had like a more like, and we'll get into it as the movie goes on because it's the first time I've really seen it. I've seen piece of it on cable throughout the years, but it's really the first time when we watched it the other night that I had watched it all the way through since the theater. And like I knew there was something special about this movie, and like remember reading about it in Fangoria and stuff. But I think what really grips you with this one is like how good of an actual drama it is, like the amount of character work, because like really the first, like I don't know if it's the first hour, but probably like the first 45 minutes of the movie, like it really feels like an in-depth like character drama of like Jeff Fahey's character.
There's no caption.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put subtitles on.
I was gonna ask you too because I saw you do the audio, but I was like, why are you doing audio?
Yeah.
I think what makes it work is that, or it's like not really like it's not really meant to be a horror movie. Like it deals, I mean, I guess that's a genre of horror, right? Like body horror or whatever they call it.
Yeah, body horror is
But I don't really feel like this was meant to be like an actual horror movie. Like it really just seems kind of more, I guess, like what you were saying, a psychological drama when you were trying to describe it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like it kind of seems, I mean, other than like taking body parts and having them reconnect and function normally, I don't know if that's actually possible. But it kind of seems like it could be possible, you know, like especially at this point in time with a lot of medical advances happening. I just saw on the news the other day a dude that got a pig's heart for a transplant. Ooh, and he was, I mean, he was an old guy, so like it really was just for him to sit in a chair for the rest of his life
for another
and still
year
breathe.
or two. Yeah.
But I mean, if we can use pig's hearts as like to replace a human heart, like this really like seems like I don't know, like it could be possible. And then if you're like so inclined to go in the way of like this thinking about the soul and all that and like where does it exist and everything, like there could be like a weird kind of like realism to it. I think that's what makes it creepy.
I mean, I'm sure what medically is portrayed in this film is probably still not even possible now
that we know.
But I mean, obviously in the last 30 years since this movie came out, you know, there's been a lot like closer shit that's been done like this. You know what I mean? And like,
I feel bad for this guy.
Yeah, I totally forgot his name. It was like Victor Ben or something like that. And like I always knew him. Like I first knew him from he did like a McDonald's. Him and his other guy, like they did this series of McDonald's commercials where they just played like dumb buddies. And it was like around this time. And then like he started popping up in movies. I could never take him seriously. In movies, like he plays like the rapist at the beginning of Daredevil that Ben Affleck has to go after on the subway platform.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and like he usually he plays a lot of mob roles actually, but I could never take him seriously because I knew him from those goofy comedic McDonald's commercials. But like now that it's like 30 years later, you know, like and like I mean I haven't seen those commercials in forever. Like like when I see him in movies, I was like, damn, that guy's actually a good fucking character actor. Now we have to talk about the man of the hour here, the star of this film, and this
Look at that hair.
I know, amazing hair. That's why he was such a big movie star. Our boy Jeff Fahey here playing the psychologist. Now this was your first time seeing Jeff Fahey in a movie that you could recall.
Like, he has a familiar face to me, but, like, I think he has, like, one of... You know what he really looks like is one of the Team America puppets.
He does.
But, I feel like I might have seen... Because he has, like, one of those faces that'll, like... You know how there's a batch of celebrities who all kind of have, like, a similar face?
Yeah.
He kind of, like, I also, too, for some random reason, that... I can't remember, is Dave Cheviot or something like that from Baywatch? Like, he kind of looks like that guy.
Dave Charvet, yeah.
Yeah, is that what it was?
I think it's David Charvet, yeah.
Something like that. And so, like, yeah, like, I feel like I've probably seen him before, but I think this is really, like, I don't know.
He was kind of like, yeah, like a hunky guy, like, and he would, like, really go in between. Like,
he kind of looks like Billy Zane a little bit, too. Like,
yeah.
Kind of reminds me of him.
Well, he kind of had a big breakthrough in, I think it was Psycho 3, and playing like a crazy guy who's like tempting Norman Bates to go crazy again. And that was like kind of like his big movie breakthrough. But he did a lot of direct-to-video movies. I mean, he was never like a mainstream movie star. He was more like a character actor who just did a lot of different things. You know, especially when he was younger, he was kind of a good-looking guy. But like he would like he did this, and then he did Lawnmower Man. He played the mentally handicapped guy that got super smart. And then, like, yeah, like, he just did a lot of direct-to-video shit. Like, I mean, he would do, like, Skinamax type movies, kind of. But then, like, he did, like, the Darkman sequels, because they couldn't get Liam Neeson to come back to do the direct-to-video sequels, so they got Jeff Fahey. But he was really good, and, like, I was glad he made kind of a comeback in Grindhouse. Like, he was in Planet Terror, and then he also was in the trailer for Machete. And I can't remember if he was actually in the movie Machete or not. But it, like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I haven't seen him real recently. Like, I'm sure he's still acting and shit, but, like, yeah, like, he looks exactly the same now. Just literally just that, like, and his hair is exactly the same how it is in this movie. It's just, just now it's just gray, yeah.
Why?
And, like, he's
like,
kind of...
That's the only thing that I was like...
He just has a weird hairdo that, like, he never lets go, but I swear it's just like that. Like,
I can see, like, he's handsome and all that, but that hair is just like, geez Louises.
He kind of slicks it down more, like, kind of slicks it back more now, but, like, I swear to God, it looks really just like that.
Well, it really just kind of looks fried from dyeing it, and then
yeah, I think he was dyeing it for different roles. It kind of has
that effect of like his hair is naturally curly, but he refuses to wear it curly.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what it is. Why it looks so.
Yeah,
strange.
he just has a really weird hair texture and a hairline that just where his hair can kind of like my hair can only be combed a couple ways. It's like. Your hair just starts falling on goofy shit. Now this is gnarly when he's on the expressway going to work, and with a car accident. And like I gotta say, like this was some really good direction here. The filmmaking, the tension that like you see where he notices like he's driving along, he's taking like patient notes or whatever, or notes to his secretary on a tape recorder, and he knows somebody's driving a car with a shitty. Little temporary tire on it, and it's all wobbly, about to bust off, and it's like you just see this building up, and like when we were watching this, like it's almost like some classic Hitchcock shit. Like you just know the second.
Well, it's the way it's filmed too, like how they like zero in on it like this, and like some shit's about to happen.
Yeah, and it just builds up and builds up.
His look, he's all worried looking at it.
And that's what's fucked up is he notices it, like he knows it's about to fucking pop.
Oh.
Yeah, here it comes. The tire starts coming off, and like
no.
I know we say this a lot of movies, but like when we watch this, I was like, how did they film this? This looks so fucking dangerous. And then when the actual wreck happens right here, because like
I saw that truck coming up. Oh.
Yeah, like he's able to stop, but a semi behind him doesn't.
Oh man.
And it just rear ends him. And he gets shot out through
this part. Oh, it really looked like there was a guy too, because his legs were like waving in the air.
Yeah, like on one shot it kind of looked like a dummy, but when it cut the other shot, it looked like a real guy, like on top of it.
Like so the one initially getting thrown out of the car.
Yeah,
looked like a real man.
I'm assuming he didn't have his seatbelt on, but he got shot out through the windshield and hit the top of another car that was all crunching up, and then he fell off of that car. It was so fucking gnarly, man.
Yeah. It was.
And this here playing his wife is Kim Delaney, who I want to say she was like on NYPD Blue a few years after this, and she was also like in some like teen movies and stuff in the 80s too. I think she was like in This Is Now with Emilio Estevez and Craig Schaefer. But like I don't know what it was, man. But like back then, I just thought this lady was so beautiful. And it's like in this movie, like she's kind of like a plain ass suburban mom, but like I kind of see why, like her eyes and stuff. She's just got like a soft, pretty like she. This isn't a really good hairstyle she has in this. Like later on when she would have longer hair, she'd look better. But
This is so fucked up.
yeah,
They said they can't save his arm.
yeah,
That's a hard decision to make. She's like, no, we can't wait. Here, sign it off now. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, basically his arm got ripped off, and what the doctor's asking the wife is like, you know, like he'll live, he just won't have an arm, but we can replace it if you want. And she's like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, you have to sign this shit. And like basically she's saying like we're going to give him a human arm from like a cadaver or whatever. Like we have a donor basically. Like she doesn't really
She doesn't say cadaver. She says we have a donor.
Yeah.
Who can give him?
But I mean, what live person would be like, here, take my arm, stranger? You know what I mean? But obviously, there's
That's not what she said.
Yeah, no, it's all nebulous on purpose. And like also too, like when you watch this movie for the first time, you don't really know who this lady doctor is. Like she just seems like a regular doctor, but like looking back on it now, it's like, oh man, like this is where all the evil shit's starting already.
Mm-hmm. And how like anxious she is. We can't wait. We have to do it now.
Yeah.
It's like such in a rush.
It has to be fresh. It's like, yeah, because they're basically going to cut this dude's arm off and put it on Jeff Fahey. But even this part, like
they could that he's watching it.
Yeah, they could have just done like a blank, like gory surgery scene. But like, what's really cool about it is like it's this nightmare where like he's awake on this gurney and they're wheeling him in, and it's like it's almost like RoboCop style with just showing his bloody stump of not even an arm, just a shoulder. But yeah, he's totally awake watching. And he's watching this other guy on this operating table who they're going to cut up for spare parts, basically. But what's crazy is, like, as we see later, like, the other body parts from the guy, like, get donated out to other people. Like, they had to have, like, all these surgeries, like, lined up. Mm-hmm. This is a good effect, too, like, where they just use this distorted camera lens to show his point of view, where, like, everything's, like, wide and shit. But it's not, like, super hard to look at, but it is like strange. It's like this is almost like, yeah, for sure. I think this is the most like body. I mean, the whole movie I guess is kind of body horror, but like this part in particular with the surgery and shit, it's just very like a strange atmosphere, very kind of almost David Cronenberg-esque.
I have to say though, I liked his character, just in general, because he's a I guess he's a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was psychiatrist or psychologist. But, like, I just like that conversation they were having earlier when he was like, because he's trying to write whatever he was trying to write, his book or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, maybe I'm a fraud because he's been feeling like he wasn't helping anyone or anything.
Yeah, like I don't know if that's all he works with, but
it made him very personable. So seeing him go through all this, is like, oh god, what a nightmare. Like
he was working with the prisoner guy, and he was saying like, I've never actually fixed anybody. Like maybe I'm just not making a difference, you know. Yeah. And it's like kind of ironic because then it's like this guy is like a fucking serial killer, mass murderer whose arm gets. I thought that was gnarly too, and like the whole surgery scene, like you almost wonder if it's like a dream sequence or whatever, but it's actually real and happening. Yeah. Like they really are just hacking this fucking guy up. Like yeah, he watches them cut the guy's head off.
Oh my god!
I remember George Romero, The Dark Half was like that too with the brain, or maybe it was Monkey Shines. I can't remember which one had like the brain surgery scene.
I can't believe they put his head on somebody. It's so crazy.
I know. Well, yeah, it makes you wonder, like, whose body it was that they put his head on.
Yeah, really?
Because when you first watch it, you think they're just, like, basically taking his head to throw it away.
Yeah.
But that's not what ended up happening because the doctor was doing some illegal shit.
Terrible.
Yeah, like, this makeup job, like, when they show him post-transplant and all the bloody bandages and shit, and, like, the way they made him up so pale and, like, fucked up looking. Even, like, his hair's all greasy, like how it gets when you're sick and you can't, like, take a shower and shit.
And they somehow made him look, like, super skinny.
Yeah, he got real skinny.
And gaunt.
Yeah. Maybe he just, like, crash dieted it for a week before they shot the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he was, like, roly-poly before or anything, but he does look noticeably thinner.
Ugh.
I like this too. Like I was definitely getting like RoboCop vibes from like this part of the movie too, where like they're trying to like all reassure him. Like he doesn't really know what's going on. Like he doesn't remember anything like except for like since the accident happened. At this point,
He's like, what the fuck?
yeah, they're like, oh, we transplanted an arm for you. Just like he's so weird. I mean, he can't talk. He's got tubes down his throat and shit. But yeah, you can tell he's fucking disturbed by what's going on. And also too, like that fucking surgery he watched.
Yeah. Oh, he's out.
Yeah. Out like a light. Fame.
Yeah, I think the psychological part of it is like kind of what makes it all like hard to watch him go through, because
Yeah.
he's like so educated and like things that kind of are logical, and then like he starts going through all this weird ass shit.
I think too it makes the movie like way more memorable, makes it unique. Ugh. Yeah, when they show it, like the arm is like all cut to shit. Like they made incisions everywhere. Yeah,
like I don't get why there's incisions going up and down. I mean, I guess maybe to connect like the part. I don't know. Ligaments
tissues or something. Yeah, they never really fully explain it, but like the arm is like scarred to fuck. It's not like you just got like some normal arm on. It's always gonna be scarred to shit.
I guess really just to give it an ugly visual.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I mean, that's the thing about older movies is I feel like you could put like a lot more nuance and shit into them than you can in the movies now, It's like now it's like I feel like everything with the horror things, like they try to please the horror audience too much, where like back then it was just a given they were going to make a bunch of horror movies, so like why not like trying to make them like good movies,
Yeah.
Like that's why I say like this is definitely like, even though there is definitely like a slasher element to the second half of this movie.
Yeah.
Like I still think this movie is like way above like some fucking Friday the 13th hacking up teenagers bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's because it is more of I guess you could call it a psychological horror.
Yeah. Like it does,
rather than just a drama.
Yeah. Like, it does get straight on horror, like, the second half, but the first half really will take its time. But I gotta say, too, because, like, the fucking performance from Fahey is, like, so good. Like, this physical therapy scene, like, he portrays the agony so well. Like, I mean, and, it's good that they, got, like, a real actor like him instead of some fucking schlockmeister like Bruce Campbell.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? Like, just a fucking cornball to come
in. Don't knock the Bruce Campbell.
Ugh, fuck.
You like him.
I don't know. I did at one time, but now I'm just like, I just feel like he's just the dude selling us the bill of goods.
Dang. That's rude. Whoa.
Yeah, where his arm makes these sudden movements sometimes. Like
creepy
these violent
music.
movements. Yeah. Subtitles say creepy music.
That's funny. I wonder how to describe the credits. This music.
Yeah.
It's funny how he's like, "Did you see that?" She's like, "I did." She's all weirded out by it.
Yeah, the therapist. Damn, he looks so pained. And then, like, they cut forward to, a couple months later. All of a sudden, he's like doing all this shit all hard and pumping iron and shit.
And gain weight again.
Yeah, he's looking healthy. Becoming a sexy man again. That fucking hair getting more and more out of control. You know who else he kind of reminds you of? Like, with that face and that giant hair. He reminds me of that actor Peter Gallagher. Like, they definitely could have played brothers in the movie if they wanted to.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So, like, we were just, like, going nuts this October watching horror movies nonstop, weren't we?
No, we weren't.
No? Well,
I thought we were just talking the other day about how we aren't even watching anything
I thought we
compared to how we usually do.
I watched a few by myself, too, but, like, yeah. Like, I would just come down here and just, like, be like, oh, like, this movie or this horror movie I've been meaning to watch for a while and throw it in. But it still wasn't that much.
See?
Yeah.
We've been having a Insidious fest is what
we were making it. We saw all the Insidious.
That guy, how will this affect your sex life?
Yeah, I guess this got leaked to the press that these crazy operations are going on where they're giving people new, well, not new body parts, but transplanting body parts. So like he comes out and he's like a celebrity and like literally like 400 reporters are here trying to get him, and he's just trying to be modest and shit.
But just that guy's a weird ass question.
Yeah.
How will this affect your sex life? It's just like, dude, like, why are you asking that?
You know what's crazy? Like you really can only see it in the scenes like this where like Fahey's hair is greased up, but it looks like he has a scar like on the top of his head, like in his hair.
Yeah.
And like we were watching that like before, I just thought it was like one of the scars from the car wreck part. But I'm like, but it's like in his hair. I think that's like a real life scar he's got on his head.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend who literally had a car accident where he didn't break through the windshield, but he hit his head on the windshield. And he hit a scar. He had really thick hair, so you could only see it like when he like shaved his head. But he had a giant scar like on top of his head, straight across. It was weird.
Like on his left eye, above his left eye, huh?
Yeah, that's where
Like,
Fahey's is.
in his hairline.
Yeah, and like you get introduced to the kids here, and like like it's he has a daughter and a son. I think probably the son's probably like 9 or 10, and the daughter's probably like 7 or 8. But
he's trying to explain what happened and
yeah,
why he was gone, and
yeah, like I thought this was a good scene too, because like he's trying to be all serious and explain it, and like they just want to see like the weird like scarred up arm and shit.
and then when she sees it, she's like, "Ew."
Yeah. Oh, it's got scars. Oh. The boy is just like,
I just noticed that tattoo.
Yeah. But yeah, we ran through all the Insidious movies except for the newest one, Red Door. We didn't have time to get to. We're actually leaving tomorrow to go on vacation for Halloween week. Giant Halloween plans. We're going to all the haunted houses. We're going to the entire filming location. We're going to see all the places where they filmed Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh my
and then
God.
we're going to go and
You totally making everything.
the world's largest pumpkin patch. I'm going to pick out a pumpkin.
We are not doing any of that.
Yeah. But we are going on vacation. And we're going to, like, as many times as we can, we're going to see Taylor Swift The Eras concert film in theaters. No horror movies, just playing now, just Taylor Swift.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't make me barf in my mouth.
Did you know that not only October, but Halloween itself is a very important thing for Taylor Swift?
Go away.
Yeah.
Go take over Christmas. I don't care about it.
Because, like, I went, like, 2 or 3 months without filming or recording an episode. And then I record, like, 3 episodes in, like, a week and a half period. In the middle of all this Taylor Swift shit. So, like, the poor listeners, they're getting hit with me fucking bitching about Taylor Swift, like, 3 episodes. So, like, in my time, it's, like, a week and a half for them. Their poor souls would be, like, a month and a half just hearing about Taylor Swift nonstop. Yeah, so like
he's being caressed by her.
Now we start getting into the weird shit where like he's making love with his wife, and like he's touching her with the weird arm and shit, and she's like, yeah, you just have to get used to it, it's different, blah blah. And like he's totally like finger blasting her, but like
finger blast.
Yeah, but like you get like the sense that like the arm, not that the arm's moving by itself, but that like it's making him like. I mean, not that
sexy.
Yeah, like not that we really knew how Jeff Fahey threw a sex down with his wife, but I try not to be too graphic here because this is a really highly erotically charged scene.
I know. Really going at it.
Yeah, 2 good-looking people going. That's what you used to pay to go to the movies to see good-looking people have sex. But yeah, like he just has like a passion, whereas like he was a reserved psychologist before, and now he's like, I'd say he's getting somewhat more manly now that we see him.
He's got a spicy side.
Mm-hmm.
Now
he's muy caliente, Jeff Fahey now. No, but I was gonna say like we watched the Insidious franchise, which was like kind of like
making me laugh.
a weird way. like a weirdly like inactive for a long time horror franchise, and I actually made you watch them out of order of how they're released, like because there's a lot of prequels in the Insidious. So I made you watch them in story order, but even though we haven't seen the newest one, Red Door, I guess the first four of Insidious. Just what for the listeners, what was your viewpoint or your reaction to the Insidious franchise?
I think it's good. Like, I mean, my favorite character is Elise. So, like, I don't know.
The
like,
older lady who's a psychic.
yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do in the last one. Or if, like, she's made her final appearance or what. But, like, I don't know. Like, because we saw them in that order, like, I got attached to her and her two employees.
Specs and...
Yeah, so it's like... I don't know. Like, I don't know what the last one is going to be.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was like, that was actually one of the ones that I was like totally like not interested in initially because
the Kikuris.
It was just like, it just seemed like another dumb like haunted little kid movie, like, or a little evil kid movie. Oh, he's having some visuals.
Yeah, he starts having like actual vision. He's trying to teach a class at the college, and he's actually having like in his mind, he's having visual flashes of like muscle sinew like ripping and being red and bloody.
While he's talking about abnormal psychology.
Yeah, it's all tying together thematically here.
Yeah. But like, oh god, I just noticed it was like a broken bone.
Yeah, it's almost like he's seeing the inside of his arm. It's hard to describe visually, but they're like quick flashes.
But yeah, like, because I'm not really like, those are just kind of like, there's so many of those of like the evil little kid. Look, a blooper, the car's back.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too, like his car that crashed. And I was like, but you know, I was like, how did that, because I noticed that too when I watched it. I was like, how did that even fucking happen? Because it's like, was that just an establishing shot of like the house from like earlier that they had to reuse or something? Like it was so fucking weird. And I was like, well,
a shot of the house they had.
Yeah, I was like, maybe he got like a fucking replacement car. He just like went and bought like car looks like yeah. He's trying to shave with the arm and.
But I think you can even fucking hear it when it gets stuck in his skin. It's so gross.
He's shaving with like a cheap ass Bic disposable razor, which those fuck you up anyway. But he pressed it too hard in his cheek, like his arm got like fucked up.
But like how you were saying, he's changing. Like he like seems like he reacted like abnormally aggressive.
Yeah, he got really. He's like, damn, fuck, and like the kids were right there, and the wife, she's like, what's going on? Yeah.
I like this part too. How this guy recognizes that something's different about him.
Yeah, he tells
he's like, you look like shit, like how I usually feel.
Yeah. And he is getting more edgy. Like, I wouldn't say he looks as bad as he gets later, but he does, like, he's not as composed. Because before, when he was interviewing the prisoner guy, he was, like, very more calm. I guess he was interviewing this guy for research for his book. I guess he wasn't really exactly treating him. He just was, like, oh, maybe he was treating him, but he was, like, trying to get the information for the book. Yeah. And, it seemed, like, they don't go too much into it at the beginning, because they kind of just have to hurry up and get to the car wreck, but I kind of got the feeling that his book or whatever thesis he was working on, he was trying to understand the human brain or human psychology in terms of like what makes killers kill.
Criminals.
Yeah. And like basically like the point of this scene is just like besides like the guy recognizing like, hey, there's something weird's going on with you, Doc, and like, you know, they shake hands and then he sees the tattoo that's on Fahey's arm and then he's like, hey, like, you know, how'd you get that tattoo? It's just a striker on it. And apparently it's a prison tattoo that they give the guys on death row who, like, committed murders and shit. Yeah. So I asked him, how do you get it? Which, of course, that starts, you know, bringing off red flags to Fahey to be like, you know, like...
And he starts getting all scared of him.
Yeah. And it will come up a couple times in dialogue, but it's just like, he's bothered by the fact that, like, he has an arm that's, like, literally killed people and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, eventually, you know, throughout the, you know, the plot unraveling, he'll do research and figure out who the guy is. But, like, again, that's just, like, what I mean about this being a kind of multi-layered kind of drama horror movie is, you know... Oh, I thought this was cool, too, that the way he finds out the guy was he goes in the police station... And he's just like, yeah, because he like knows the guy. I guess he works with them or whatever. Like he's like, yeah, take my fingerprint. I never thought about that. I was like, yeah, he's got that fucker's fingerprints.
That's what I was wondering, like, how weird it would be because he has 2 different sets of fingerprints.
Yeah. Although I guess even if he wanted to go do crimes and you leave those guys' prints, they would know who had his arm. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, one of 2 people. It could be one of 2 people. But yeah, like, I don't usually like those kinds of movies about the little evil kids because they're all kind of the same to me. So, like, I never was interested in those. And then, like, I just had a totally different idea of what the movie was. And it's even kind of misleading because, like, now that I know and I've seen them, when you look at the posters and they show the little evil kid, it's like the kid was, like, barely had anything to do with it.
He was never evil, like, ever for a second. Like, he actually just, his soul got trapped in a netherworld, so his body just went into a coma.
Yeah.
But he never, like, he was never possessed by anything, and he never did anything creepy.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you mean, the poster. And, like, also, too, like, that's why I avoided it, too. Like, I saw the first Insidious for the first time. I rented it on DVD. Like, I just wasn't in a rush to see it at all.
He looks like the Eagle character from Muppets.
Yeah, it's funny, too, that, like, they show the mugshot of the killer guy, and, like, I don't know if it was supposed to be, like, he had bleached hair or what, but, like, he looks like he's got a fucking, like, an old guy with gray hair.
Yeah.
But, like, later, when you see his head again, like, you know, his head shaved, so he don't have that hair anymore. Yeah, he starts having more grisly flashes in his sleep. Now he's getting real edgy. You always know people are getting edgy in movies back then when they start smoking out of nowhere.
But yeah, so like, yeah, like I got like, I was all like offended after whatever. I don't know the parts because they're all mixed up the way I watched them, but
the original Insidious.
Yeah, I was like, they killed her off, because like I saw her story first before I saw the way
like
they
even like
it.
her origin when she was a little girl.
Yeah, so like I was just so like, what is the point of this? And like it actually made me want to hurry and watch the next one because I was like, what are they gonna do with this story now? You know, like, without her, because I thought she was dead. I mean, she is dead, but
yeah, I just made the decision a few months ago because I ended up eventually seeing parts 2 and 3 in the theater, and I missed part 4. And I really liked parts 2 and 3, so I was like, I'll just track them all down and go. And like for some reason, I think it's just because there's like weird studio things, like it's a collaboration between different studios.
No.
Like they never did like the box set or anything. So like I had to like order individually the Blu-rays, which like doesn't sound like a big deal, but it actually was, because like for some reason like hardly anybody had them all in stock, so like I had to get a couple from Amazon and a couple from Best Buy, and I was just like, what's going, like, do you remember those Sinister movies that came out, like with Ethan Hawke? It was in the first one, and then they made Sinisters 2 about those little kids and the monster.
I think so,
yeah, like we went to see them. Like you can't even buy those anymore, and they've been out of print for years. Like I've been trying to buy them forever, like even used copies I can't, like they're just like jacked up. So I was like, is that was happening with Insidious? Like I just thought it was weird.
So he's telling her who the arm belonged to?
Yeah.
He's trying to tell her he thinks something's wrong with it. She's like, no, everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just your imagination.
Yeah, she's like, you have your life back. It's okay. Like she's basically just like saying like, don't let it get to your head.
You can finger bang me real good. It's all
yeah.
right.
We're fucking good, honey. We don't. It doesn't matter if we have a Charles Manson's arm on your body.
He's talking to the doctor about it now.
Yeah, he goes back to the doctor to try to figure it out, and she just totally gaslights his ass.
Well, she says, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want it to interfere with everything.
Yeah,
I didn't want you to say no or hate.
Trying to give you a better quality of life while I have this fucker's head tight, you know, on another body running around. It is interesting how he says, I now have a murderer's blood in my blood. And I guess that would be true.
I was
like,
going to say. Like,
you can't, like, drain an arm out of all its blood and shit, or else it would probably die instantly.
Yeah. She's trying to say it won't do anything you don't want it to do, but nobody's, like, experiencing the weird shit he's experiencing.
Yeah. Or if they are, they're all just hiding it. He's, like, the only one smart enough to talk about. So, as far as horror movie franchises go, which do you think is actually more medically accurate, body parts or the Human Centipede franchise?
I don't know. I never seen Human Centipede.
Oh, you never seen Human Centipede?
No.
It's about a evil doctor who kidnaps people and he sews their mouths to other people's assholes, so they become a human centipede.
Is that what I have always heard the jokes?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was. Oh my god.
It's amazing. I saw that in a movie theater.
Jeez Louise.
It really is, like, I don't know, like...
That is not one of the ones that you've ever had me watch.
No.
I would never watch that on my own.
Yeah.
Well, I would never watch any horror movie on my own.
And honestly, it has sequels. It has a part 2 and part 3, I believe. But, like, I never even, like... I think I own part 2 as well, but I've never watched it just because... It's like, the first one was so good. Like, you're not going to top, like, the first time you see somebody's mouth sewn to an asshole.
God. So gross.
So it's like these two girls that like their car broke down and like they knocked on the guy's door and he like totally just like knocked them out. It's these two girls and then like this Asian dude and like yeah like so human centipedes them together.
Dang, you see up his butt.
I know. Like we're showing this other guy like I guess we're done talking about human centipede now. But
Please.
Yeah. But anyway, like, yeah, this guy, like, he lost his legs in a car accident. So, like, because he was crippled or whatever, like, they just cut his legs off and put the killer guy's legs on his body.
We'll talk about it when you make me watch it.
Yeah. Full sequence.
Oh, my God. I was just trying to stay on topic with the movie we're doing the pod for.
No, I mean, you...
Around my squeaky sofa noises.
Yeah, it's okay. You haven't been feeling the best lately anyway, so...
Because you were trying to tell me the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, basically, you heard it. I mean, he sews their mouth to an asshole. So.
Stop saying that. It's making you laugh.
Because it's a great, like, you know, everybody's like, oh,
Gross.
we need Jason Voorhees to come back. I was like, no, we've had enough. We had 13 Friday the 13th, so we need Human Centipede Part 4.
Oh, God, no, we don't.
I was totally wrong, too, when I watched it the other night, and the opening credits said Brad Dourif was in it. I was like, oh, shit, he's going to be the killer, but he's actually not. He's another transplant recipient, and he got his arm back, and he was an artist. Well, he is an artist, but he was an artist who lost his arm. And then they gave him the killer's arm, and now he can paint again. And all of a sudden, he's painting these, like, grotesque, murderous, bloody paintings.
That everybody wants.
But, yeah, but everybody
for some reason.
Which, I gotta say, like, this part of it...
arm wrestle or what?
Yeah, where he's like, yeah, all of a sudden, like, I'm making all this money. I was like, I actually found this part, like, believable. That people would want to buy the bloody, gory paintings of a guy who painted it with the arm of a serial killer. Like, I think because, like, everybody was paying for those,
But would anybody know that?
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't go into the story, but, like, everybody knew it happened to Fahey, so I'm sure they would know it happened to him, you know what I mean?
But do they know who the donor was?
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they didn't. But either way, like, the violence is selling. Yeah, and Fahey's, like, getting the memories. He can recognize that these grotesque paintings are from real, like, memories the guy had of, like, when he was killing people. Seems like he mostly strangled people and shit.
He's a fan of the Doctor.
Yeah, he's raving about the Doctor. Talking about all the money he's making to him. It almost looks like he's smearing, like, blood and shit on the paintings.
It did look like that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Comparing her to all these people.
Yeah.
Dang, his gangster tattoo on his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, they got all the prison tattoos that went along with the guy thing. Which, like, now you could just laser remove that shit and blur it, you know. But I guess they didn't have that in the early 90s.
I don't think he cared.
No. You know, it's kind of funny we were talking about Insidious, though, because, like, I was, like, looking at all those dramatic scenes and shit, and kind of, like, the way Fahey's character is portrayed in this movie.
Oh, I didn't even mention why I also love the Insidious movies.
Yeah, why?
Because I love Patrick Wilson.
I know, he's your favorite.
He is.
That's what I was about to say. Is like, I think if you remade Body Parts now, I think
Oh.
the only person you really could cast would be Patrick Wilson. He's like the only.
God, that would be so hard to watch.
Yeah, he's like the only dramatic guy that like does horror movies and shit.
He's like, it's so hard to watch him suffer, or like how he is in Insidious. He turns evil for a second, or not a second, but for a lot of the movie. Like, it's so hard to see him like that because I like him so much, and I'm like, I don't want to see him like that.
Yeah.
Here's all his crappy paintings he used to do, he thinks.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because I didn't see Hard Candy, which is kind of like his breakout movie.
Really?
I didn't see it till like later on video, like 3 or 4 years after it came out. I finally watched it.
Is that the one with, what's her name?
Elliot, or that young boy Elliot Page, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, I didn't like that movie at all. Like, it just was like...
That movie was such a big deal.
I know.
Remember when it came out.
I can't remember... That was like the breakout movie for some director. I can't remember if it was David Slade or who it was.
Damn, I didn't realize that was him. That's so weird.
But,
damn, it came out a long time ago.
Yeah, he was kind of like nerdy looking at it too. It was before he got all studly. But then I saw that comedy with him and Jennifer Aniston and Jason Bateman. I can't remember what the name of it was, The Switch or something. Where Jennifer Aniston is like getting older, so she wants to have a kid. So she like, she asks what's his name, Patrick Wilson, because he's like this big stud and shit, to donate his sperm. But like Jason Bateman's like so jealous because he's always been in love with her, so he like switches his sperm, and like the kid comes out all doofy because she's like she wants to have like a fucking baby Chad stud kid, you know, who's like good at sports, and then the baby comes out and he's like all fucking nearsighted and shit, like fucking Jason Bateman's playing the nerd. And then I saw him in that movie with Kate Winslet. I think it was called Little Children. It was like a drama, and it was actually about some child molesting shit too, just like Hard Candy. But Jackie Earle Haley played the molester in that movie. But yeah, like, and then obviously I saw him like Watchmen shit. So like, yeah, Patrick Wilson, he's like really good, man. He played a lot of diverse roles and shit.
He really like knows how to make you like feel for him. Like that's what's hard for me to watch when like of that kind of stuff. And then he's just really cool in Aquaman because he plays like a cool tough character.
I can't remember. What I was about to say was I can't remember if I saw him in that comedy with Jason Bateman first or if it was Lakeview Terrace. I saw him first. You ever see Lakeview Terrace with him and Samuel L. Jackson?
I don't know if I've seen that one. I know what it is though.
It's really fucking like, I'll be honest with you, it's like, and somebody like, I think like fucking Neil Abute, I don't know why I'm cussing so much, sorry guys. I think Neil Abute or somebody directed it, but it's just like the most basic ass like hokey thriller movie.
I think they were playing it on TV recently.
Yeah, where like Samuel L. Jackson's like a cop too.
Yeah.
And Patrick Wilson and his wife, played by Kerry Washington, move in next door to Samuel Jackson.
This part reminds me of how, like, whenever you walk into a room, I get scared the shit.
Yeah.
And he gets so mad. He's like, what?
Yeah, like, the wife just comes in, like, from, you know, the bathroom on to getting out of the shower to say something to him, and he jumps and screams.
He's like, what? He doesn't say what the fuck, but he just gets so...
He's being his aggressive, mean, scary guy character. But yeah, it's like kind of weird like movie, and it's like Patrick Wilson can't tell if Samuel L. Jackson hates him because he's like a white guy married to a black lady or what. But I think if I remember right, he like actually hates him because like they were smoking weed outside or some shit, and he's just like he's just like a real Samuel L. Jackson plays just like a real militant asshole, and he's like, you're making my neighborhood shitty, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then, but the one thing that is memorable about the movie is that it takes place in like typical LA fashion of like the neighborhood's about to burn down, so everybody has to like evacuate. So
like from a fire?
Yeah, it's like there's like hillside fires and shit, you know? Like, which is what happens there like every fucking month. And yeah, so like it gets kind of spooky towards the end where like everybody's evacuated, but like Samuel L. Jackson won't leave his house or whatever. Like they kind of have like the final like fight showdown like on the block, like you know, when nobody's really around because they're all evacuated and shit. So I thought that was like definitely like appropriate for the LA setting.
This is funny, this cop guy.
Yeah, so this is Zake Smokai, and I don't know exactly where he's from, if he's African or no, actually I think he's Jamaican. But I want to say he was in Wes Craven's Serpent and the Rainbow. That's where I know him from. And yeah, he plays like I never could tell. I can't remember if they're supposed to be in Chicago or where they're supposed to be in this movie. But it's so weird that he's just like this fucking police detective with this thick ass Jamaican accent.
I know. Oh, here's the
this is the best when the kid runs him and like they're wrestling so hard, and then like the kid like does some shit like the kid jumps on him so fucking hard on his like transplant arm, and like it's not really Fahey. It's like the serial killer reflex, the backhand the kid. It's so hilarious. The kid runs away screaming, "Oh, he busted my nose, mom!" Oh. But what was funny about it was like from the get go, man. Like they were beating him and the kid were like playing wrestling. She fucking slapped the shit out of him too. Surprised he didn't like knock her across the room.
Yeah, really.
That's funny. Everybody's like wearing blue pants, blue jeans.
That was so funny.
Blue shirts.
When he like went, bang! He just like.
I guess it was just like they practiced it and shit, but it looked real too.
And the way he like ran away, mommy.
Well, I know, and he's grabbing his nose and shit. So yeah, Fahey starts stalking the other guys again. Like he already talked to Brad Dourif, but he didn't really talk to the guy who got the leg transplant. And he starts following him around, and he sees I thought this guy who played, I can't remember what his name is in the movie, but he's just like, I didn't really recognize him, but he's just like a young actor guy. I thought he was actually good too. Like I found him believable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what happened to him? Like,
yeah, I
never really like, it doesn't that I know of.
Yeah, he didn't look real familiar. But it's like weird because you could tell the guy's like moving weird, and he's like playing basketball in like sweatpants, which like you never would really do. But obviously, if your legs are all
and shorts.
Yeah, well, actually, a lot of the guys are wearing sweatpants, which is weird. But like, I played basketball a lot when I was young. I never did it in sweatpants. But maybe that was like an '80s, early '90s thing. But yeah, he does a super slam dunk. That's another thing too, is like all the transplanted things. Like they try to play it up that like the killer guy like killed everybody with his bare hands, and he was like super powerful.
Yeah, there's like something about like this guy, like he's like got like special skills with his legs too.
Yeah,
I wish they would have given some reason for that.
They're just like super strong, and like he did the slam dunk and shit. But I think it's just supposed to be like he like the killer guy or whatever is he had some kind of supernatural force behind him, because I don't know if it was because of all his murders he did or just like that he already had or what. But it's kind of like ill-defined. But yeah, like typical thing, like the guy's legs are like they have a life of their own.
Oh my god!
And like he's driving his car and it makes him slam on the gas. He has to like go through and he almost wrecks.
Oh my god!
Which, like, especially when you saw how gnarly that car wreck was at the beginning of the movie, like, this scene had you extra nervous.
Oh, my God.
And he barely stops in time before he hits a parked car. And then Fahey comes and knocks on the window, like, oh, hey. It's just so funny that at first he's just like, oh, I saw what happened, but then he tells him, like, hey, you know, I had the same transplant you did. Yeah. I think this is the only kind of like goofy part of the movie, and it's just unavoidable. But like when he tracks these guys down and he has these conversations with them.
Yeah, and they don't like. Well, this guy doesn't really like get weirded out or anything, but
yeah,
the way he does kind of tell him like everything's fine, like just get over it.
Yeah,
even though he just had this weird shit happen to him.
Well, like, because he said, too, though, like, he's like, I was in a wheelchair for 3 years, so, like, this is better than, you know, like, what was going on with me and stuff. Which, I mean, he's totally, you know, he's just saying, like, hey, you know, like, blowing off, being like, hey, you know.
Look at his ears, I like his ears.
Yeah, he's got the ears stick out. My mom would say that's how my ears are.
I like those ears.
Yeah. The guy has a pretty modern haircut for back then. Like, it's pretty much how everybody combs their hair now.
Yeah.
If I had a chance, though, I would definitely have that Fahey hair.
Oh, God.
Especially this scene. It's, like, definitely dyed with some fucking shoe polish.
No way.
Him and Steven Seagal went to the same hair colors, apparently. But, like, I was saying, like, I can't remember when it was this movie came out, like what month it was or something. Like I thought it came out like the dead of winter, but I think it actually came out like August or some shit. But it's probably just because the movie has such a wintry setting.
I saw you. I followed you.
Yeah.
That's funny. I saw you play basketball.
But I really miss when, like, there was, like, pretty much 1 or 2 horror movies came out, like, a month. Like, it was definitely during the 80s and even the early part of the 90s. I think it just sucks now. We have to sit around and wait 7, 8 months for another horror movie to come out all the time.
Yeah, when you said earlier that a horror movie was like no special occasion, you would just watch it anytime. I was gonna say, not anymore. Now it's only for October.
And not even.
And
it's
even barely.
more
now.
like August and September.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, we didn't go see it because the release got botched where we live, but, like, everybody was, like, not everybody, but I heard a lot of people saying, like, well, I would have seen Saw if it came out for Halloween, but no. And I was like, yeah, it's fucking annoying, but, like, me personally, like, I would love to go see a horror movie anytime. Like, and I used to go see a horror movie anytime. Like,
I have to say, like, yeah, like, I don't really ever care about release dates or anything unless it's, like, a holiday movie or whatever.
yeah.
But the fact that Saw has made its living off of when it's Halloween, if it's Halloween, it's Saw. Like, I have to say, like, I was kind of, like, not into it. Like, when they said they were going to release it earlier, I was like, okay, never mind, whatever. Like, it became not special all of a sudden because it was just, like...
Yeah.
They just totally got rid of, like, the gimmick of it, and I was just like,
Well, Disney put all their whatever, their Haunted Mansion and A Haunting in Venice, they put those all out early so they could get them on streaming for Halloween Day.
Yeah.
Which, that's pretty annoying, but at least they, I guess if you're that fucking stupid, but which is people who run Disney are, that's why they're losing billions. But, yeah, like, Lionsgate, like, all they had come out this fall was Saw, and they just botched that shit, releasing it in the middle of September for no reason. And then it got beat by Paw Patrol.
Oh, he's gonna kill her.
Yeah, he's just totally asleep, but his arm reaches over.
Oh my God.
This is where he started getting some almost borderline Evil Dead shit. He just reaches over and starts choking his wife to death.
Well, I think the shot was cool in how it was just showing the hand.
It was like the hand was almost like a snake
like
slithering.
Its own thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then, of course, like, his acting's really good. Like, he's terrible. She's really good, too, her performance.
Now she sees that some weird shit was happening.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, we're going on vacation for Halloween week, and we're just hoping and praying we can find a theater still playing Saw in Los Angeles. Because everybody wants
Weird enough to say during Halloween.
Well, what happened, too, is Lionsgate... It was originally supposed to come out sometime in October, but, like, Lionsgate got scared that Five Nights at Freddy's and then Taylor Swift were coming out. And then Five Nights at Freddy's is just ridiculous because it's just playing on Peacock anyway the same day it goes in theaters. So it's like they just totally tanked the box office of Saw for no reason.
They take the box office of everything.
Yeah. And not only that, but our girl is not really burning up the charts the way everybody predicted she was going to. I mean, she did very well, but nothing amazing.
You know what sucks is, like, I had no problem with Taylor Swift. Like, I actually prefer her earlier, like, country music because I've always thought she was a really good songwriter. I honestly don't know what any of her new stuff sounds like because I've never listened to it.
I just hear a bunch of poppy bullshit
like poppy
screaming,
now.
yeah.
But, like, and she's doing, like, collaborations with fucking Ice Spice now.
With rappers and shit, yeah.
It's just ridiculous. But, like, this whole thing with this whole, like, quote-unquote, her saving the movie theaters, I'm just like, go away. And then constantly, every Sunday, you gotta fucking hear about her at the football game.
Oh, at the football game.
It's just like, go away. You're oversaturating. Go away.
It's so oversaturated. I mean, I have no opinion about her music because I've probably heard 5 Taylor Swift songs in my entire life, so I don't have much of an opinion of whatever. And if people love something, they love it. I ain't got a problem with that. But she's just weird how, like, everything's got to be about her, like, all at the same time.
Yeah. One, just especially around this time of year where it's like, you know, we've had our own traditions that we do and everything on our own, and just like, oh, now all of a sudden this is supposed to matter, and it's just like, ugh, I don't know. Yeah, it's just obnoxious.
I mean, we don't have, let's be honest, we talked about it, we don't have the best movie theater situation where we live. There's really not much choice. So, like, when something comes that, like, throws a wrench in, like, the normal movie playing, it makes it
It's like 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, it's a really pain in the ass for us to see the movies we want to see when they're not playing that many times a day, or they're playing in like really small theaters that get sold out. So it's like, yeah, it just sucks, and just the way every movie theater basically, they threw out fucking The Exorcist in its second week. They threw out fucking Saw. They threw out Haunting of Venice just to unnecessarily clog up. I mean, it was unbelievable how many showtimes that fucking thing has. And it's like, I checked the tickets to see, I was like, everybody going to these? And like, yeah, people go to like the 7 o'clock ones or the big ones that are like the really big theaters. But the majority of them, like, they're just fucking empty. There's like 4 or 5 people in them.
Oh man, he's going off the rails.
Yeah, after he almost choked his wife to death, he's telling the doctor to cut his fucking arm off. She's like, no, I would never do it. I would never do it.
She straight out tells him, what you're going through is not important compared to what I've done.
Yeah, like that was the
my
scene.
work.
That was the thing where she unveiled, honestly, her cunningness. So she's like, this is my research and my work.
I'll
and
put you in a
don't
mental institution.
Yeah. Like, this is some good shit here. This kind of reminded me of Psycho 3 when he was in the hotel in Psycho 3 going crazy. But yeah, that's why it's just like, really, like, by the time you get to this part of the movie, you're like, holy shit, man. Like, this is, like, you don't even really, other than just the horror of his life is literally collapsing around him. Like you said, like, it doesn't even really feel like a horror movie at this point.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, yeah, something weird and strange and supernatural is going on, but it's like, you don't know if it's like a ghost thing or what. That's what
or if it's just in his imagination, or like, yeah that's hard.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then the other guys are like fucking perfectly normal.
Yeah.
Now you got me cussing all the time.
I know. It's okay. We'll settle down. We won't talk. I swear to God, this will be the last time we talk about Taylor Swift until we talk more about her on the next episode that will come out later that we actually recorded.
When her movies are still playing on the
weekend.
Yeah. Ruining everything.
Yeah, I mean,
but like that's what's kind of like hard about watching this is like the other. Well, I mean, I guess the legs guy, kind of had a bad experience, but the other guy hasn't really had anything happen.
No, he's had a great experience, or at least he claims.
Yeah.
But I wonder too is maybe he was Brad Dourif. Maybe he was getting his like weird shit out because he was painting it. So because I mean, obviously he was painting what he was seeing in his mind, but to him he was saying like, oh, it just comes to me, whatever. But to him, he just saw it as like artistic inspiration. Whereas like Fahey's like, I keep seeing this shit in my my dreams and shit, and like it's haunting me.
It is kind of cool that like he called them and they came to like hang out with him.
Yeah, like because like it was just getting really sad, like how he's writing in his diary in that shitty hotel room, and he's all sad because he lost his family pretty much.
Yeah, because the wife kicked him out.
Yeah, so like he gets
woke up the kids in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he had to say goodbye. I mean, to be fair, he almost choked her to death, so I see why she's scared. But yeah, like I like that the guys like they actually show up and come, and like everybody's drinking beer, getting drunk together, and they're just like, "Fuck, man, this is such a weird like thing we're in." Yeah. And but it does get like a little silly here though, like when this other drunk guy just starts some shit with them, and like they all start fighting and shit.
But it seems like it was just mostly in there to show like the skills that the guys have now with their
superpowers,
with their new limbs. Yeah. He trusts the doctor so much.
Yeah. I guess the other big franchise of I didn't really think about it, but I guess all the horror offerings they're all sequels this year, right? The Haunting of Venice was part 3 of the Agatha Christie, Saw 10, obviously. And then Exorcist was I don't know what part it would be considered. But it's part of Exorcist franchise. But yeah.
Everything is now.
Yeah.
Listen to what your arm's saying to you.
Yeah.
He's saying kill my wife.
Yeah. Have another drink, old buddy. They're all laughing and
that
shit.
That guy's just listening to them.
Yeah, this guy's like, oh, here's a guy on the news with a weird arm. Show it to me. And they're like, hey, like, I ain't a circus freak, dude. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then, they're toasting the murderer guy. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's like, you would assume the serial killer guy would be dead. You wouldn't. But I was just like, who is this guy with his Baltimore Orioles baseball cap on wanting to fight them? Such a
I
jerk.
guess now you know where they are.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just gets really kind of cartoony here.
Oh my god! I want to see the one from the TV.
Yeah. I should say too, though. I just found out. I didn't even know about it. I think it's called Suitable Flesh. Joe Lynch, the horror director, has a new movie out, and I guess pretty much just art house theaters, but with Heather Graham. It looks good. I watched the trailer today, so check out the trailer on YouTube. Yeah, it's like he hits the guy with the beer bottle, but then another guy jumps in, starts punching him, and they do the slow motion haymaker punches, just like destroying the dude.
Jeez.
The guy's faces are funny, like when he's getting pummeled though. I've never really I've seen a lot of fights outside bars and shit, but usually outside.
Dang, really?
I never, huh?
Really?
Oh yeah, I've been jumped. I've been sucker punched, a bunch of shit.
What the hell? Who are you hanging out with? Jeez.
It's just when you're young in your 20s, like fuckers are drunk, starting shit.
Jeez.
I saw one
Why are
guy.
you so crazy? What is this crazy life you have?
I mean, it wasn't me, but like, I try to stay out of shit. But then like the guys bumping each other and they start fighting. The guy with the legs gives him an awesome karate kick. There's also two other cops like showed up there. But like, yeah, I've never like actually seen a fight inside a bar. Like they're always like right outside, like literally right outside the door. But I'm just curious if it would ever be like goofy like that, where just like everybody would jump in, like just randos would be jumping in, trying to like not break it up, but like fight like that, just punching each other and shit.
Oh god, his legs are bothering him.
Yeah, like he can't walk up the stairs because his legs are all weird.
I wonder like what that is. Like,
I think it's just because we don't know what's going to happen, but actually what's going to happen is the serial killer guy is going around. He's going to start collecting his body parts back. I think it's because the guy is near and like he's basically telling those legs like to fuck up, like the legs are basically dying because like the real guy is there.
yeah, he just looks so like tortured. Like, I have so many problems with my legs. Like, to watch him the way he is, I'm like, oh my god.
It's really good acting too.
I know.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean
so
the guy totally deserved it. But I remember one time I was like with a large group of guys, and like there was probably like 12 of us, but like half of us were on one side of the bar, so like we didn't really know what was going on. So there was like these two guys that were like picking a fight with like these 3 or 4 other guys that were kind of in the group. And like that shit started out, and like the one guy got hit, knocked down, and like he kind of was like down on his hands and knees for a second, and like the main guy he was fucking with, like begging to fight him all night. That dude just came up, like literally like fucking punting a football, just went up and fucking kicked that dude in the face, like straight in like heel toe, like the tip of his sneaker or whatever. It's like boom, fucking like squared up. And then, like, a bunch of shit happened, and, like, the cops didn't get there in time or anything, but, like, a bunch of people, like, jumped in, and then it got, like, tore up. But it was probably good it ended when it ended, but that was, like, because, usually assholes, like, always start shit, and they always get away with it. That was, like, the one time I actually saw some asshole who wanted to fight so bad actually come out on the bad end of things. But,
I totally forgot about this part.
Yeah. Or like the guy with the legs, Charlie. No, that's not Charlie. Charlie's a serial killer. I forget what the leg guy.
Mark Draper.
Yeah, Mark Draper. He calls Fahey and tells him like, yeah, this shit's going on. Like, I need your help. And then Fahey rushes over. Now this is where
he doesn't even say that though. He's like, hey, just calling to see what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like casually just calling him. He never even gets a chance to say anything. And then he hears that door bang.
Yeah, like Fahey hears a loud noise over the phone.
Oh my god.
He shows up the guy's part. I thought it was funny too that the killer like put the door back, but it's like all busted in, so it's just literally Fahey touches it, just like falls over.
Oh my!
It's totally off the hinges.
Ugh.
Yeah, and this is where it starts getting like really kind of classic, regular horror movie-ish from this point on. But like, because it's never really even alluded to. Yeah, we're like it's an hour and 6 minutes into a hour 28 movie, so like literally it's like not counting credits, there's like less than 20 minutes left and all the horror shit happens. Kind of comes out of nowhere, but it's kind of good too because it gets like really bizarre and goofy but kind of fun in an over top way.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like Fahey comes in and he finds the guy. And
he doesn't even see it.
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
Like he's trying to just like look around. I thought it was creepy too that like even after the guy could walk, he kept his wheelchair still.
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of weird.
Supposed to do it?
Yeah. Because like earlier, like it was like tucked away in the corner, but like obviously this big fight
you could hear
happened.
blood dripping.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the room's like a bloody mess.
Oh my god.
Finds the guy and the guy's legs are completely ripped off.
That was gnarly.
Yeah. I think you could do like a really cool, like almost alternate version of this movie where you follow the killer more and like, because it gets really gruesome. He's like driving around in that car with those body parts he's stealing back and shit.
Yeah. I wonder what he. Oh god, how he like cut them off.
I think you just like literally. I mean, he might have cut them off, but I just always got the impression that he was just literally because like. Later, when he goes back for his arm from Durf, he just like literally rips that shit off because he's got like some super strength.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, also too, who knows? Like the doctor lady was such a weird mad scientist. Like she could have been fucking like juicing up the body parts, like trying to enhance them somehow.
Yeah. Ay. It sucks because that guy seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, like Durf is like a little wacky and crazy, like a weird, crazed artist. But he's not like really a bad guy at all either. Like he was, being friendly and sympathetic. But who knows? Maybe it's But yeah, they show Durf painting like the way he paints the shit like so violent. It's like he's spraying blood around, even though it's just paint. But maybe like the reason Fahey like kind of like figured everything out or had those stronger feelings about like the flashbacks and shit. Yeah, look at Durf's face, like looked like his blood splatter, but it's supposed to be paint. But maybe it's because because he was a psychologist and he was already examining like the killer's mind and all that kind of shit. Like maybe he just was more attuned to like
he was
pick
more susceptible.
like he could read what the impulses were more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I also like I wondered too like before you really know what's going on, because I mean here it becomes obvious, like you see the killer guy come for Durf's arm. Like I kept wondering if like Durf would be like possessed by the killer, or if it'd be like a weird thing where the three of them would then all become serial killers. But it's like, yeah, it really is just as simple as the guy, they took his head off, put it on I guess a dead body or somebody's body, and now he's back collecting his parts back to rebuild his body. And pretty much, like, there's not a whole lot of, like, it doesn't go super in depth to, like, why the doctor did it. I think the doctor was just doing shit just to see if it was, like, medically possible.
Yeah.
Just try to patent some new surgery. Probably make a bunch of money or some shit. Yeah. And like, I know, like, it's, like, all getting weird, and, like, the cop is, like, questioning, like, what's going on with Jeff Fahey and shit. Like, oh, you were the one who discovered this murder and all this shit. But I liked it, too, that, like, the cop, like, didn't know what was going on, but he was willing to trust him enough to, like, at least, like, try and help him out. And not, most movies, they always waste time with that shit where the hero gets blamed for being the criminal and all that shit.
Or they're just, you're crazy. That's not really happening.
Yeah,
that's not really happening.
The worst is, like, Stephen King's The Mist, when, like, the monsters are starting to attack the supermarket, and the guy's trying to tell him, like, what he saw happen. And they're like, no. And then, like, they just immediately get attacked by monsters. Yeah, so, like, the killer throws Durf out the window, and, like, he grabs himself and hanging, and, like, literally he just, like, yanks his fucking arm off. And then Durf falls down to his death.
Jeez,
Old Chucky falls to his death. Pretty gnarly stunt, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And he lands on top of the cop car.
Oh, my God. So nasty.
It's obviously a dummy, but it's, like, pretty gnarly still to see.
I can't believe they stay so long on some of these shots.
I know.
Like, when he went out the window, like, it was obviously not.
He
It was, like,
stunned
the
though.
stunt guy.
Yeah,
They stayed on the shot for so long.
People were just, like, or movies, I should say, were just used to doing it that way. They're like, as long as it mostly looks like him. I like that shot of Fahey there with his collar up and his crazy hair and eyes.
I know. He's getting all crazed.
Yeah. And this is where we see the doctor's been, like, she's watching what's going on, so now we know she's in all this shit.
She sees all the weird crap happening.
Yeah. You can never trust those medical professionals.
Oh no. At this part, I couldn't believe it happened. Like, it was a pretty interesting. Like, I saw his arm hanging out, and it was like weirdly like obvious that it was hanging out like that. But then when like they showed, I thought it was gonna be more of like the guy was just gonna come and grab him out of the car. But then it fucking went the direction it did. I was like, holy crap! Like, what the hell? This is a long ass car part.
Yeah, he's linking his
not even a chase.
His hand out the window because he's holding a cigarette. They're in a cop car.
Oh my god.
And the killer guy just comes up and puts a pair of handcuffs, basically handcuffs him to himself. And then they start driving away. Like, I guess he thought he was just going to, like, yank Fahey's arm off the way he did Durf's. Like, use the car to do it. So you have these two cars linked together, and obviously the cop's driving, but he has to, you know, stay next to the other car. And, like, they're jumping the cars and shit. Like, this really would tear your arm off for real. Like... Or at least fucking cut your hand off, probably, with the handcuffs.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then, like, they're going the wrong way. It's, like, kind of like the car chase in To Live and Die Alive. They're going the wrong way in traffic. It's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm sure there's, like, safety and, you know, movie magic and whatnot, but, like, all this shit was really gnarly. I mean, obviously somebody was filming this stuntman or something.
It's a pretty crazy car chase scene. It's not even a chase, though. It's like just a fucking stunt car scene.
Well, it's like, and also, too, like, how you see, like the guy's got, like, the, I mean, cars, I don't think really have this anymore, but, like, that back dash part, like, the back seat, you see, like, the body parts are back to the arms, the legs, and shit. He's got them on the dash.
Yeah.
And then, like, Fahey's, like, kind of climb across. He's hanging in between the cars. Like, it's really good. It's a really effective scene.
Yeah, Charlie didn't realize that this cop was a champion race car driver.
Yeah. Zake Smoke was a race car driver. He drove so damn fast. Never took the checker flag. Never came last. But yeah, then they're going to go to one of those bridges that splits in the middle. So somebody's arm would have got ripped off there. And Fahey takes the cop's gun and shoots the chains of the handcuffs. But yeah, that was a gnarly ass scene. It was really good.
That was a good shot. I mean, they were driving like crazy, and he still managed to cut it.
Yeah. It was good too, because like the whole crazy scene, it didn't go all shaky cam like shitty movies now. You can actually tell what's going on the whole time.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool scene, actually.
Yeah. Like, it was even more... Like, the first time I watched it, I was just like, what's happening? It's so crazy. But seeing it for a second time, like, yeah.
He just left the cop.
Yeah. I like that where he just, like, took the car and took
that
off.
shot of him with the arm there is so funny.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
Yeah, the killer...
Doing, dude?
Like, this sequence is, like, really...
He says, oh, Charlie? Oh, damn.
This is where we start seeing the killer for the first time, and like he's like this guy. He's got this big neck brace on because his head was transplanted onto this body.
God.
And like he crashes his car, it catches on fire, and he's got to like grab his body parts, 2 legs and an arm, and grab him. And
I
run
think
out.
this part is where it starts getting real like
over the top,
horror-y. Like,
yeah.
The visual of him carrying his fucking legs, like that's so gross. Oh.
I know, he gets knocked down with an explosion.
Like, it's just... Because, like, you can see all the, like, tripas coming out of it and everything.
Yeah.
It's, like, so, like, morbid.
I think it's interesting, too, like, the directorial approach to, like... This is a pretty subdued movie up to this point, and now to, like, just go full, like, over-the-top, like, crazy horror with it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes the movie memorable and unique.
Well, and then this moment with the whole...
Yeah, the doctor.
Dr. Frankenstein with her monster...
Yeah.
Moment.
It's always that scene in like horror movies and shit where people think like what they created is so spectacular or beautiful or whatever, but it's just really some fucking just gross and nasty shit.
Look at the foot, it looks so real.
Yeah, actually does. It doesn't look like a rubber foot, it looks like real skin.
Yeah, like the chopped leg, like it's so gross. Ugh.
Yeah, we don't get it.
Can't believe how long they stayed on that.
I know. I think they're just trying to, like, you're supposed to be focused on the emotion of the doctor. I thought this was sad, too, and, like, more good storytelling, though, but where Fahey's like, I don't know if I'm going to survive this shit. So he's been filling out this diary, trying to, his plan is to leave it to his wife so she understands like what's going on. He's not just going crazy. He's not just trying to become evil. But like, yeah, he mails the diary to her. And, he writes the final entry. This might be the last time you hear from me and all this kind of shit. But that was the first time we really got to see the killer. Like, what was your impression of the killer, Charlie? I mean, he's like a reanimated. He's not a zombie, but I don't know how you describe it. His head is like on another body, and he's Frankenstein basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all kind of a little bit Frankenstein, like Fahey with his fucked up arm, but he's like really like a super Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like I think they could have gone like a little cooler, like. More than just the neck brace. I think they could have put like more scars and like weird shit or made him look more dead kind of thing.
Yeah.
He kind of is just like a regular guy. Like if they were just done more makeup to make him more dead looking, it would have been cooler. But like overall, like when you realize...
Make it look like it was actually a head that was chopped off a body.
Yeah. And not just like a guy. But I gotta say, just like when because it's really not like, I mean, other than you see his head cut off, and I mean, you don't think anybody could ever survive having their head cut off. But, like, the point in the movie where the movie actually tells you, like, no, this is, like, really what happened. Like, this fucker's head was taken off and put on another body, and now he's running around. Like, it's just, like, a crazy, like, because they don't hint around to it. They don't show it to you early. Like, when the movie lets you know, when there's only, like, 15, 20 minutes left, it's like a crazy jump to take. I mean, it kind of is cool into itself. But at the same time, like, I appreciate they did it that way, but then, like, you kind of wish you had more moments with the killer to, like, I don't know, to give him more personality.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, here's where, like, the poster comes from.
Moving.
Yeah, his original torso, his legs, and his arm.
So gross.
And obviously, he's got his head on the other body, and then Fahey's got his other arm, the right arm, I think it is. But yeah, it's funny. The doctor's like, "Oh, we're ready to take that arm back now." Like,
he's like, "Nope."
Yeah, Fahey's really good. He's like all fucked up. Looks like he hasn't slept. Yeah. And Fahey's got the cop's gun, and he's basically come here to end this shit. And, like, yeah, she kind of exposes, like... Yeah. Fahey's like, yeah, great idea. Saving a killer's head so he could just come back as a killer.
Oh, my God. They keep showing it. It's so nasty looking.
Yeah, she's giving the evil doctor spiel of, like, oh, this is just such a big break. This is science. I'm just saying, basically, like, once you can transplant somebody's head with, like, their whole personality intact and shit, it's, like, going to lead to all these places and shit. I like how Fahey, like, as crazy as Fahey is at this point, he's being pushed to the breaking point. Like, he's, like, the only one, like, who's sane in this room. Yeah, he's just ready to waste her, but then Charlie comes up, knocks him out with a shotgun.
It's so funny how much he says "fuck you" to her.
I know.
I think he says it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it would have been awesome just to see him shoot her in the face like that, though. But what's kind of cool is, like, they're knocking Fahey out with gas now and getting ready to cut his arm off, and he wakes up. And what's kind of cool is, like, their fuck up is like he's able to get free because he has that super strong arm to bust through the restraints and shit. It is awesome when he just cold cocks her.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and the Charlie guy comes in.
Oh,
he totally headshotted the assistant surgeon.
Almost got him right there.
Yeah, and I thought this part was gnarly too, where, like, he's almost, like, reversing the shotgun to blow Fahey away. But Fahey rips off the neck thing. You see the scars and shit of where they transplanted the head.
Ooh.
Yeah. And, like, Fahey again uses his superpower arm to snap Charlie's neck. I thought this was a weird detail too, how the shotgun got caught on Fahey's sweater.
I know.
It just looked like a real thing. It didn't look like they planned it. It just looked like a real thing to happen.
Yeah.
And I love this end part where, like, the they look kind of look like they're floating in water, but they're actually not floating in water. It's just hanging from wires, the body parts. I like when Fahey takes a shotgun and blasts the body parts apart while the Charlie guy's laying there watching them,
gross.
like basically dying. Yeah, it's weird because like it's not like it's pretty short actually. It's not like the most longest, giant, most epic, whatever ending. But there's like just something about it because you've watched Fahey go through so much shit throughout the entire movie. Like you don't want to see him go through more.
A lot happens.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of cool. It's like it's just therapeutic to see him like triumph and to see the fucking basically the weird ass experiment that go through.
Crazy.
So
And then
basically,
he thinks everything is okay now.
Yeah, it seems like everything's okay. He's calling the cop to tell him to come down there to see everything. But then, like, obviously, like, with every horror movie, there's some shit that's left. Yeah. Charlie picks up the handgun.
Still lives.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh.
Yeah. And he accidentally shoots the doctor. Charlie does. And Fahey.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like kind of an awkward shot, but it's awesome. Like Fahey gets the shotgun and basically headshots him, but like
Dang.
you see like the dummy body like slide across the floor. It's really kind of cool, brutal shot.
Damn, he blew up his head.
Yeah.
He dead.
That's it. All the bad people are dead. And then we get the good ending of Fahey writing his book of. He's basically writing a memoir now of what happened to him, like the whole crazy shit, and like because it goes back to the thing, does evil live in the flesh? I think that was like one of the taglines on the front cover of the movie too. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like a picturesque happy ending movie. It almost feels like a reshoot, how they always reshoot some happy ending for every movie. But it's good. It's just him and his wife in the park. I think the kids are playing in the background.
It's interesting that now that the guy died, he says he hasn't experienced any of those other side effects anymore.
Yeah, it's like with the guy's spirit going away, like basically almost like his arm was haunted, kind of by the Charlie, who was the previous owner of it.
Yeah, as long as he was alive, it was gonna be evil.
Yeah, it was going to do all that evil shit on its own. Yeah, like choke his wife and shit.
Oh, it's like an article for a journal.
Yeah. Fahey hit some moogray blow into his hair there. Looked like some pollen or dander or some shit. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's really good, and probably some listeners probably remember this when they're like I did from their younger days when it came out and shit. So yeah. Like, because it'd been so long since I'd seen it, like, I just knew the basic premise and remembered a few scenes from it, but it was way better than I remembered. I mean, obviously, this is the first time you saw it when we watched it. Like, what did you think?
Dang, I thought it was a still shot. They were still
No, yeah, you can see everybody in the park playing and shit.
Background.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that, too, because, like, him and his wife are, like, sitting against that tree. They're, like, almost deadly
They're
still.
so still.
Yeah,
Except
but
for
like
her hand.
you could see like the park behind them, like all the kids are playing frisbee and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you think?
I liked it. Like, I thought it was interesting. It was an interesting concept. And I like that it didn't really feel like a Frankenstein rip until like that one scene.
Yeah.
But it like earned it. Like, it was like by the time it got to that scene, it was like, oh,
it built up
that's
to it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Like, you like appreciated it when that moment came where she was standing there watching him, like looking at him with the fucking legs and shit, all scary looking and morbid. Like,
yeah,
it like earned that moment.
Yeah, and seeing all the body parts in the case at the end too, like.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know, like. I really still wouldn't say that this is a horror movie. Like,
yeah,
it just, I guess to me, the like not calling it a horror movie to me gives it more like creepiness of saying that it's just like a really fucked up like normal movie, like it's like, damn, that shit happened. Oh my god, like.
I mean, I think it really. Yeah, I mean, like Eric Red, like he wrote The Hitcher, and like I mean, he followed this up. I'm pretty sure, blanking on the name of it. I got the Blu-ray of it, but he did a werewolf movie after this. I think he's done a werewolf book too. I mean, the guy's pretty rooted in horror, so I'm sure in his mind it was horror.
Yeah, probably.
It just really all his stuff is like really heavy on character, I would say.
It kind of reminds me more of just like a Twilight Zone movie or something.
Yeah.
Just like where like weird shit happens, you know, like
Yeah.
not really like a horror movie.
Yeah.
I guess sci-fi.
Yeah.
It really is kind of sci-fi because it's medical stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And I think too, like I don't think you really get this nowadays now because now there's no medical breakthroughs left to happen, basically. But I really do remember, like when I was a kid, late '80s, early '90s, we were always like being told, or we were always under this impression that just the next big like technology breakthrough was about to happen, or medical breakthrough was about to happen. Like it always seemed like some shit was like about to change. I remember back then they're always saying like, "Oh, we're just a few years away from the cure for cancer" and all that kind of shit, like which obviously never happened.
Supposedly.
But yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like
they probably have the cure for cancer on Elysium. If you go up there, you could probably get it.
I don't know. Like somewhere along my education that I had in college. Speaking of which, that's why I like this movie because I have a background in psychology. But
Yeah.
That's why it kind of drew me in because.
Yeah, like, because I totally forgot what he did when I saw that. I was like, oh, maybe you'll actually like this and not just be, like, bored by it, because he was, like, the beginning scene, he's, like, in the prison with the guy and all that.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying to the guy that he was talking to. Like, I felt bad for him because he was like, are you gonna fix me? Like, are you gonna stop, like, be able to rewire me? And it was just, like, so sad because he didn't want to be like that, you know?
Yeah.
But, dang, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you're just talking about, like, the psychology background part of it.
Like, just to get into it along my education somewhere, like, I just kind of started hearing all the stuff of, like, we actually, like, the cures to stuff actually exists. It's just not made public because then it would affect the bottom line of, like, all the pharmaceutical companies and all that. So, like, ever since I heard that, I was like, damn, that makes a lot of sense.
It
like,
does, yeah.
Like, for AIDS, you know, like, all those people have to be on medications their whole life. Like,
yeah.
You know, what would those pharmaceutical companies do if people were allowed to stop taking that medication?
Yeah, sell you a monthly thing.
Yeah.
I think that's so
or
weird.
Chemo, same thing.
I know there's a lot of different, like, because for full disclosure, I watch a lot of YouTube during the day, during my work day. It's basically, I just watch YouTube. Yeah. And you see a lot of, like, weird ads on YouTube that you don't see anywhere else. And I swear to God, like 80% of the ads on YouTube are for HIV shit. Mm-hmm. And I don't, and I
on TV too.
Oh yeah, you see it on TV a lot, and like I don't really get, like I know some of them prevent you from catching HIV, but other ones are like if you already have HIV and then like it treats your symptoms. But like now there's like ones like it used to be like, oh, this pill, take this pill every day, take this pill, and like now I see these HIV ones that are like they show the people like about to have sex, and it's like you don't have time for a daily HIV pill, so switch to this shot for a monthly shot. And I'm like, I remember when HIV and AIDS, well, obviously AIDS comes from HIV, but like, I remember when that shit was killing millions of people. And like, how soon did you have this shot that could stop somebody? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's mind boggling.
That's why I'm just like, I bet you we could totally be rid of a lot of the stuff we have.
Yeah.
It's just not allowed because somebody would lose money for it.
But going back to what I was saying, when I was a kid, you would hear in the media, and it was probably just, a lot of it was probably just kind of like, grab this headline to get people to listen or read or whatever. But like, they would always pretend like these big cures or these big breakthroughs were just about to happen, and they never did. But I'm like, but the thing is like, every year there's like more, and as the decades roll on, there's more and more billions spent into research every year. And you're telling me all that billions of dollars of research into all this shit leads to nothing? Like, nothing at all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird.
Yeah. And all this money they always ask for and all that. It's always about money. Like,
yeah, it's always. I mean, just like all those HIV commercials. It's like obviously, you know, obviously people are still contracting HIV, or there's at least a threat that they could contract HIV. So it's like you kind of have like what do you call it? Like you cover both bases. You sell pills to the people who don't have it yet, and then you sell pills to the people who do have it already. So it's like it's kind of weird. Yeah. But anyway,
off of our soapbox.
yeah, it's just more and more like thoughts coming to, you know, based on what we were talking about, based on the movie. But yeah, like I highly recommend this movie. It just helps if you go in knowing it's like basically a character piece. But I think that's the strength of it, honestly. I think it's a really good performance. I mean, good performances by everybody, to be real honest with you. But like especially Jeff Fahey.
Yeah, like if you like Twilight Zone or Outer Limits, or I guess probably even like Creep Show, or you know, anything, those kinds of shows like that, I think you'll like this.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. So I mean, that's it, and just want to take this opportunity to, of course, wish you guys a happy Halloween.
Ooh, Halloween.
I hope you guys put your jack-o'-lanterns out.
You better put it out, or Sam's gonna come and stab you with his lollipop.
Yeah, or trick or treat
will come.
Put some
razor blades in your Snickers bar.
Yeah. We unfortunately don't live in a place where we get any trick. I mean, it won't matter this year because we'll be gone. But like other years, we just sat. We always bought the bags of candies, and they fucking sat there.
We
not
still
one
have
trick.
bags of candy from not even. I don't even think last year, from the year before. No?
I don't know. This shit's so old. But like, yeah,
I went crazy buying stuff.
But it makes me happy to hear, like, to talk to people in other parts of the country, like, oh no, it's still big here. We still get kids, and like.
Well, supposedly, according to the locals that we've heard, there are some neighborhoods that get a lot of trick or treaters. Just for some reason, ours doesn't.
Ours never did. Yeah. Even when we lived in that last subdivision, like, there were very few kids. It was weird.
It's weird because it's a bunch of houses in a row. Like, maybe just nobody answers the door.
Just everybody old lives over there. Yeah, well, also, too, like, I remember the first year we lived over there, like, some kids did come, like, not a whole lot, but it was, like, every year, like, it got less. It got, like, half.
Then the pandemic just killed everything.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because I think we moved into that house. We moved in right before Halloween, because I remember the first Halloween we were there. It was like right when we first moved in. So yeah, so it was like, we had 4 years, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, we had 5 Halloweens there before the pandemic hit. And I do remember one got rained out, like one Halloween rained really bad. But like, yeah, like it felt like the first year we got like maybe 20 kids. I was like, oh, because we got a few over at the apartments, but not many.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we get trick-or-treaters here. And then it was like the next year we got like, it felt like it went from like about 20 to like 12.
And then it started becoming more like older kids who weren't even wearing costumes.
Yeah, it got real lame.
Carrying pillowcases, and they weren't even dressed.
Yeah, it got real lame. And then eventually, like, I don't even think the last year or so we were there. Like, I don't think really anybody came. Like, maybe one group of kids. I remember there was one year that like, we bought 3 or 4 bags of candy. And, like, one group of kids came.
There's a lot of. I remember like parents with little tiny baby kids, like dressed up in a costume.
Shit. Because there's got to be some good neighborhoods in LA to trick or treat. We should just buy a mask and go trick or treating on Halloween.
You got to go to all the rich areas. That was always what we like knew. Like if you go up to Bel Air,
is that true?
And like Beverly Hills, everybody was always, "Yo, you get full size candy bars over there."
The full size candy
That was
bar.
always the story that us in the lower parts of LA.
Yeah, that was the fairy tale you guys wanted to believe. It's probably not even true.
I mean, that's what would go around. A legend, I guess you can say. That people used to say that, like, yeah, when you go up to the hills over there, you get full size candy bars.
It'd be awesome if like you went to like the super rich part and like they're just like handing out iPhones and shit.
Oh my god,
that'd be awesome. I bet a lot of those places though, because like they have all the gates and shit. They probably just are all gated up. You probably can't even go up to the house.
Yeah,
but we shall see.
We will
buy some masks and we'll go see.
I'll take my Snow White dress.
Yeah.
Go walk around.
We can at least go to the Michael Myers house. Go over to Pasadena, see Michael Myers' house, Freddy's house.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Is it the same house?
Yeah.
Oh.
It got moved, and it's like a fucking chiropractic office now, but you can tell it's still the same house, yeah. But yeah, so that's it. So we want to wish you guys a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. We was going to avoid horror movies for October just because whatever, just to be different. Yeah, because it doesn't really matter.
I didn't know
like
that.
Usually when we do them, like for October, the numbers go down. But I don't know. We have weird spiking up and down
the show.
Yeah.
Podcast.
The podcast, yeah. I think people just get tired of the shit at some point. And a lot of times I would upload a episode on Halloween, like the way shit would burn out and like, you know, whatever. But I mean, either way, who cares? It's another one involved. It just ended up, just the movies we were watching just ended up to be, you know, because of the time of year. Yeah. It bled over to the podcasting, you know, decisions. But hope you guys do have a good Halloween, and we'll see you again. Catch you right back here in the movie graveyard.
Halloween.
Bonfires burning bright, pumpkin faces in the night. I remember Halloween, this day, anything goes. Little dead or out of Joe's. I remember Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Ah!
Oh my god.